Good morning, friends. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope it's a lovely weekend. We're finally got some good weather here in Southeast Texas. Last week, it was like a monsoon for like 3 or 4 days. Finally, the rain stopped. Rained again Friday. Yesterday, cloudy, overcast, but it wasn't bad. It was cool weather. Today, bright and sunny, thank God. We were sick of all this rain for a while. Hope it's nice where you are. Let's go back over this last few days here in college sports. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down there. And let's get to some news. I think the big news this week, Jim Harbaugh leaves Michigan. He's going to be the new LA Chargers coach. Sharon Moore, they went ahead and promoted him to head coach. I think he'll do okay. I know Jim Harbaugh is involved in all the weekly stuff during his suspension, and Moore was there at the game. But those players really rallied around Moore, so I think he's going to do good there. Don't know if he'll win the Big Ten right off the bat, but I think he'll do good. I think he'll keep building that program because they have lost a lot of players, but they got some good ones coming back. So we'll see how Sharon Moore does. Arizona, man, they got some crazy stuff going on there. They fired their athletic director, David Heek, for financial and operational mismanagement. Arizona says all this has resulted in a financial disaster. Whatever he did, I don't know, but several major donors to Arizona's athletics program, maybe even the university, they left because of this. Whatever's going on there, they left. They lost those donors. David Heek also mishandled former coach Jedd Fisch's contract. Is that why he left for Washington, or did he leave for more money? Probably never know. But anyway, yeah, Arizona fires their athletic director. Some crazy stuff going on there. Hey, former Navy head football coach Ken, I can never say his name, Ken Nivumatololo. Ken Nivumatololo. See, like I said, I can never say the guy's name. Hey, he's San Jose State's new football coach. So he's getting another chance over there. Former Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers, he went to Washington. Then he decided to enter the transfer portal. Well, he withdrew from the transfer portal. He's going to stay there at Washington. Will Rogers and KJ Jefferson over there at Arkansas, I always wondered how they would be with better teams. We're going to find out about Will Rogers next year, that's for sure. Some sad news here. Georgia mascot, Uga the 10th, he passed away, 9 years old. He'd been their mascot since 2015. Love seeing live animals on the sideline. Uga, I think a lot of people, even non-Georgia fans, loved Uga. I mean, he's just kind of a staple, in college football. But anyway, sad, Uga 10 passed away. But life goes on, I guess. DePaul, they're sick of the way their basketball team is going, so they fired basketball coach Tony Stubblefield after a 3-15 start. This was his third season there. Hey, here's some good news. Next football season, Purdue has moved its first game against Indiana State from September 7th to the week before, August 31st. So you remember, usually the last Saturday in August, we got, 6-7 games that day before the season starts the next week. So that's cool. You get another game on that day, August 31st. Oh, I don't know what to make of this. Former LSU wide receiver and current Patriots wide receiver Kayshon Boutte arrested Thursday in Baton Rouge for illegally betting while he was at LSU. Felony count of computer fraud. He used an alias to get around the age limit to bet online. And misdemeanor count of gambling for a person under 21. Don't know what's going to happen. He is a star athlete, so probably nothing will happen to him. But I don't know. Felony account, you never know. They'll probably plead that down to something else, and nothing will happen. You know how famous people are. They can murder 50 kids, and nothing's going to happen to them. Did you see what happened Wednesday? Kansas State and Iowa State. Kansas State coach Jerome Tang is accusing Iowa State of spying in their huddle last Wednesday night in their loss to Kansas State. They lost 70, or to Iowa State. They lost 78-67. Iowa State coach T.J. Otzenberger, he denies it. He says there's nothing like that going on. I didn't see that game, but evidently afterwards there's a lot of jawing going on back and forth between the coaches about this during the game, and then the handshake was kind of awkward afterwards. I guess, I don't know, maybe there's going to be an investigation or something. I don't know. We'll find out what's going on, though. All right, so let's go back to, we're going to go to Friday. A lot of crazy things happened last week. Auburn lost to Alabama. Ohio State, they've lost 2 in a row now. Northwestern, they're kind of on the roll, beat Illinois and Ohio State. So kind of a crazy week. We'll mention some of that here, but let's go back to Friday. Wisconsin beat Michigan State 81-66. Star for Wisconsin, 28 points in that game. Yesterday, number 3 North Carolina beat Florida State 75-68. Florida State actually led by 5 at halftime. Davis for the Tar Heels had 24 points in that game. This was a good game. I watched this one. Number 4 Houston beat Kansas State 75-52. Kansas State loses their second game after all that crap that happened Wednesday. They were really never in this game. Houston just came out of the gate like that. Buzzer to buzzer, man. They had Kansas State's number that whole game. UH's She, he led the way, 17 points in that one. Number 5 Tennessee beat Vanderbilt 75-62. Vanderbilt led by 5 points at halftime. Neck for Tennessee, 32 points. Nice game for him. Let's see. Number 6 Kentucky, they bounced back from that loss to South Carolina last week, and they beat Arkansas 63-57. College game day was there in Arkansas. They were all happy and proud, and almost pulled it off. I mean, they lost by 6 points, so wasn't a blowout or anything. Number 23 Iowa State swept the state of Kansas this week. They beat Kansas 79-75. That was a good game. Iowa State 15 points off of turnovers. They also shot better from 3-point land than Kansas did. Good, exciting game. Crowd was really, really into it, really energetic. You know, they say it's a hard place to play, Jack Trice Football Stadium. Well, Iowa State's basketball arena is right there, too. I mean, that place is electrifying. That was a great game. I really enjoyed that one. Auburn, boy, what's going on with you guys, man? Their second conference loss this week. Bama last week. Mississippi State yesterday. They lose 64-58. Bruce Pearl's got to figure out what's going on over there. Number 9 Arizona beat Oregon 87-78. Oregon has now lost 2 games in a row. Number 10 Illinois. They bounced back from that loss last week, beat Indiana 70-62. Shannon Jr. for Illinois, 6 free throws in the final minute to help pull that victory out. Oklahoma, number 11 Oklahoma, probably not for long, lost their second game of the week, lost to Texas earlier. Well, yesterday they lost to Texas Tech, 85-84. So not only by 1 point, but still a loss is a loss. Number 12 Duke beat Clemson 72-71. McCain's Duke, 21 points, 5 rebounds. Proctor, 18 points, 5 rebounds. I saw something, I don't remember what it was, but like Clemson hasn't won there at Cameron Indoor since like something crazy, 1995 or something. Maybe I saw that wrong, but some kind of crazy stat to this game. I mean, if you're interested, you can probably look it up somewhere. Number 14, Marquette beat Seton Hall 75-57. TCU beat number 15, Baylor 105-102 in 3 overtimes. Another crazy stat about this game. I think they said the last time the Big 12 had a 3 overtime basketball game was back in 2019. I think that's what it said. TCU, 2 conference wins in a row. Richmond beat number 16 Dayton 69-64. Number 17 Creighton beat DePaul 85-62. DePaul's 3-17. They used to have a decent basketball team. I don't know what's going on these last few years. Another overtime game. Number 18 Utah State beat Boise 90-84. Utah State's Brown, 19 points. Martinez behind him had 18 points in that one. Number 21, BYU beat Texas 84-72. Did you see what happened at that game? Students down front, I guess it was all students, could have been some adults, all had spelled out on their shirts, horns down. Texas threw a hissy fit. I think the referees tried to make them take them off or make them move, separate, whatever, so you wouldn't see all that. This is just totally stupid. Hey, I'm an Aggie fan. I've seen when the opinion games where people are going, oh, instead of gig them, they're doing this crap. And when the A&M makes a bad play, I hear them yelling, whoops. Big deal. It's a part of college sports. I mean, this is really something bad. God, quit being a bunch of babies, man. They're going to have a hard time in the SEC, I'm telling you, because those fans are relentless over there. Wouldn't be surprised if Texas players go home crying from their games. I mean, that's just the weakest crap I've ever seen. That's how we become? We become that weak. You can't give your rival a hard time anymore. I mean, geez, man. Come on. Okay, I'm done. Another overtime game. Wyoming beat number 24 Colorado State, 79-76. Wyoming, man, Walters hit a shot at the buzzer in regulation to force overtime. So hell of a game for them. Virginia 15-5. They beat Louisville 41-13. Cavaliers, man, led 41-13 at halftime. Louisville, I don't know what to say about you guys, man. Maryland, they're 13-8. They beat 15-6 Nebraska, 73-51. Reese for Maryland, 15.16 rebounds. Overtime again. Florida beat Georgia, 102-98. Both of them are 14-6 this year. Albany, they got above 500. They beat New Hampshire, who's 12-8, 86-79. Marshall for Albany, 29 points in that game. Nice game for him. Providence, they're 14-6. They beat Georgetown, 84-76. Providence is Carter, 29 points in that game. South Carolina, 17-3 now. They beat Missouri, 72-64. Good week for South Carolina. They've had a really good week. Miami of Ohio, they're at 500 now. They're 10-10. They beat 15-5 Akron, 70-68. 14-9 Green Bay beat Detroit Mercy, 78-64. Poor Detroit Mercy, they are 0-22. There's another team that hasn't won a game. Another school, I forget which one it was, but man, 0-22. That is a long, long season. 14-7 Southern Illinois beat Murray State, 60-58. Towson, they're 13-8. They beat Delaware 67-56. Towson's made 23 points in that game. 15-7 Drexel beat North Carolina A&T 62-47. Charleston, they're 15-6. They beat Campbell 90-67. 13-7 Toledo beat 14-6 Bowling Green 88-72. 14-7 Chattanooga beat Citadel 90-62. 15-3 Cornell beat 15-2 Princeton 83-68. 13-6 Yale beat Harvard 78-65. Some few good teams there in the Ivy League. 14-6 Miami beat Pitt 72-68. In two overtimes, Butler, they made it to 14-7. They beat Villanova 88-81. Let's see. 19-2 Grand Canyon beat UT Arlington 67-61. Cal Baptist 13-7. They beat Stephen F. Austin 81-79. Daniels for Cal Baptist 29 points. A lot of players led their team with 29 points this week. I guess that was the theme for this week. That or overtime, one of the two. Louisiana Tech, they're 15-6. They beat New Mexico State 73-53. Morehead State is 16-5. They beat Western Illinois 64-50. Charlotte 13-7. They beat Tulane, who's 12-8, 75-71. South Florida, they're 13-5. They beat UTSA 89-72. High Point 18-4. Nice season for them. They beat Winthrop 83-81. Griffin for High Point, career high 37 points. Nice game for him. Another overtime game. I watched a little bit of this game. 11-10 Stony Brook beat 14-6 UNC Wilmington 86-78. George Mason, they're 15-5. They beat Rhode Island 92-84. Norfolk State 13-8. They beat Coppin State 68-58. Sanford, they're 18-3. They beat Eastern Tennessee State 75-72. Vermont 16-5. They beat Bryant by 10 points. Long Beach State beat UC Riverside 65-53. 13-7 Eastern Washington beat Northern Arizona 85-70. Washington State beat Colorado 78-69. Both are 15-6. Washington State and Colorado are. 13-7 Va Tech beat Georgia Tech 91-67. Iowa, they beat Michigan by 10 points. Iowa Sanford, 26 points in that one. Perkins behind him, 24 points for the Hawkeyes. Western Carolina, 16-5. They beat VMI, 102-77. McNeese, they just keep winning. They are 18-2. Beat New Orleans, 102-65. Good times down there in Lake Charles. Tarleton State, 13-7. They beat Utah Tech, 86-68. 14-7. UC San Diego beat UC Davis, 92-59. Pope for UC San Diego. How many points did he have? 29, like a lot of people this week. 14-8. UNC Asheville beat Charleston Southern, 71-65. UNC's Asheville Pember, 30 points. Way to go, Pember. You can only score 29 to keep with the theme, huh? You have to score one more. Troy, 13-8, beat South Alabama, 83-79. Rounding up yesterday, Indiana State. Looking pretty good, the Indiana Sycamores are. 18-3, beat Bradley in overtime, 95-86. A lot of guys on game day yesterday, a couple of guys at least, mentioned Indiana State and how impressed they are with that team. So keep an eye on them. 17-4, Drake beat Northern Iowa, 97-63. 11-9, LaSalle beat 14-6, George Washington, 80-70. Brantley from LaSalle, 20 points. 12-4, Appalachian State beat 18-3, James Madison, 82-76. 13-7, Minnesota beat Penn State, 83-74. Minnesota's down 14 at halftime. Came back, won that game. 14-6, Syracuse beat 13-7, NC State, 77-65. 14-6, Cincinnati beat 12-7, Central Florida, 68-57. 9-12, Mercer beat 15-6, UNC Greensboro, 70-64. 13-8, Portland State beat Montana State, 94-91. 14-6, Bama beat LSU, 109-88. 13-7, UMass beat St. Louis, 84-73. Cross for UMass was their leading scorer, 19 points. 13-7, VCU beat Davidson, 63-58. 16-6, San Francisco beat Portland, 76-64. Newberry for San Francisco, 22 points in that game. 12-10, North Dakota beat 14-8, St. Thomas, Minnesota by 10 points. 17-3, Ole Miss beat Texas A&M, 71-68. I watched that game. Good game from start to finish. Just down the stretch, those last few minutes, Ole Miss hit some shots. A three-pointer, maybe a couple three-pointers, a bunch of free throws to win that game. But even though Aggies lost, that was a hell of a game. 83 to Northwestern. Northwestern beat Illinois this week, then beat Ohio State yesterday, 83-58. Buckeyes lost 2 games this week. 14-7, Montana beat Sacramento State, 70-67. 12-9, Washington beat 14-7, Utah, 98-73. 16-6, St. Mary beat Loyola Marymount by 5 points. 15-5, Gonzaga beat Pacific, 82-73. UC Irvine, they are 15-6. They beat Cal State Northridge by 5 points. That is it. You got your NFL championship games today. There's some basketball too. We'll be back next week to review what's going on this following week, and then next weekend and all that. Things are starting to come down to it. They're starting to shaping up. We're starting to wonder about some teams too. Look what happened to Auburn this week. Look what happened to Ohio State. Wondering, okay, are they going to get this thing turned around? Is that going to cause them problems coming up with these conference championships and into the tournament? And then you see teams like Northwestern beating some of these big teams. They beat Illinois, beat Ohio State, and you're wondering how long is that going to continue? How far is that going to go? How far can that take them into tournament season? So things are really getting good in college basketball. I always said January, February, the best months of college basketball. Well, they're here, and it's proven it. So we will be back. Have a great week. Be safe. Stay busy so the week goes by fast, and we'll see you next time.